On this episode of In the Fight, the United States and Ukraine launch Exercise Sea Breeze 2015 in the Black Sea. We meet a specialized unit that protects lives from above. International arms control efforts promote openness and transparency in military forces. Marines continue to help the people of Haiti. And a group of legendary airmen reunite for the last time. Operation Atlantic Resolve allows the United States to demonstrate its continued commitment to collective security. These actions are designed to ensure peace and stability in the region for NATO allies and partners. Senior Airman Braden Anderson files this report.
About 350 airmen
Make sure you call your mom, by the way.
and 12 A-10s from the 74th Expeditionary Fighter Squadron deployed to Estonia as part of a theater security package in support of Operation Atlantic Resolve.
The theater security package is a forward deployment of U.S. joint capabilities. It's to strengthen interoperability and demonstrate a U.S. commitment to the stability and security of Europe.
During this deployment, airmen from the 74th will conduct flying training and participate in exercises with NATO and European allies.
Working and training with NATO is absolutely crucial to us, especially here at Moody Air Force Base. We're there to strengthen our formal partnerships with our NATO allies. You must understand that interoperability is a challenge. If we train and exercise together as an alliance, our proficiency grows exponentially.
This theater security package deployment is a first for Moody's A-10s and adds another chapter to the legacy of the Flying Tigers. Senior Airman Braden Anderson, Moody Air Force Base, Georgia.
The United States and Ukraine, along with 9 other partner nations, launched Exercise Sea Breeze 2015 in the Black Sea. With the Ukrainian port city of Odessa acting as a staging point for operations, this multinational exercise took place against the backdrop of Russia's annexation of Crimea and the continuing civil war in Ukraine. NATO channel correspondent Lawrence Cameron files this report.
And then, sir, get on the ground. Stay away from me. Sir, get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Taking down a hostile crew member after boarding a ship, just one of many skills American and Ukrainian sailors are honing during this year's multinational exercise Sea Breeze.
Well, I know we've been training with them the past few days, and they're a bright group of men for sure. And we've been training with them, and they've taught us things as well that we did not know. It's about perspective in our business.
Although there are often language barriers to overcome in joint exercises such as these, it is impossible to overlook the strong feelings of camaraderie that seem to develop between all the naval personnel involved.
We have our own techniques, Americans have their own. When we share it, we try to get all the best from them and add it to our style, to our tactics. I think it's really important now, especially in this sort of times that we have, that Ukrainian and American armed forces will cooperate.
Now in its 14th year, many would argue that this exercise has never been more important to the region. It's no secret that the Ukrainian Navy took a battering after Russia's annexation of Crimea, where a large number of ships were seized. However, piece by piece, the Ukrainian Navy is rebuilding itself from the ground up.
We've seen a lot of improvement so far. Our Ukrainian counterparts are very enthusiastic about learning, and we have gone about this with a crawl, walk, run approach. So by the end of this 4-day period, we expect great strides and improvement with their whole team on board.
While the name Sea Breeze implies a water-based exercise, there is also a large land-based component that sees US Navy personnel sharing some of their expertise in dealing with battlefield casualties, an unfortunate reality for the Ukrainian forces.
The camaraderie we found throughout this week of working is second to none. We've noticed there's extreme similarities between our troops and mannerisms that after small amounts of communication with them, we can communicate through language barriers without any problems.
For NATO Channel in Odessa, this is Lawrence Cameron.
During a disaster relief exercise hosted by Ukraine, participants from 25 partner nations share their equipment and expertise with each other to better respond to disasters. Army Staff Sergeant Tristan McIntyre introduces us to a new technology that these allies are using to assist emergency medical teams.
Explosions erupt and fire breaks out at an apartment building. There are mass casualties, but rescuers are quick to respond. This is a simulated emergency as part of Exercise Ukraine 2015, and a medical team from the U.S. Army provides on-site triage. NATO is co-hosting this exercise, and this triage team gets to use a specialized NATO technology.
This is the telemedicine system, and so actually I'm waiting for a consult with a neurologist to evaluate this gentleman's pupils to make sure the reaction time is correct.
The telemedicine system allows medical specialists to lend expertise when and where it's needed the most, without having to be on scene.
The concept of taking telemedicine across the globe is not something that's new. And the concept was, when we respond to disasters, usually there's lots of different countries and lots of different civilian and military operations ongoing. And so the plan was to build a uniform platform that anyone could tie into and reach back either to their own country doctors or experts around the globe.
The telemedicine kit consists of laptops, cameras, and a satellite uplink. The doctor on scene shares a secure connection with the specialist and can even send live vitals.
This is the first field test, if you will, of that concept. So here we have U.S. military using the technology to reach out to Romanian civilian physicians in Trigomore, Romania.
Telemedicine can help NATO professionals make right decisions and save lives. Staff Sergeant Tristan McIntyre, Lviv, Ukraine.
Hey, I'm Private Nicholas Olvey with 234 Armor here in Fort Riley, Kansas. I'd like to send a shout out to my mom and dad in Denver, Colorado. I miss you guys, and I'll see you soon.
Hi, my name is Staff Sergeant Avila Wilbur. I'm at HAC 39 BEB, 2nd Brigade. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I want to say hello to my husband and my 2 boys. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Stay strong and be safe.
I'm Specialist Watson from Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I'm here at Fort Polk, Louisiana. I'm at 1st 320th. I'm here at JRTC. Gonna kick some butt, man. I just want to say hi to my mom, and my dad, and my sister. Hi.
Coming up, we meet a specialized unit that protects lives from above. And international arms control efforts promote openness and transparency in military forces. Check out DivotsHub.net for the latest accurate and reliable information as In the Fight continues. When did the A-10 Thunderbolt II, also known as the Warthog, enter military service? The answer when we return.
Five oceans. Seven continents. Whatever it takes. Wherever it takes us. America's Navy. A global force for good.
Hey, what's that pin you're wearing?
Oh, this? I wear it to remember my dad. He was in the Army.
I wear this pin for my husband, who was killed in action.
My son served his country proudly. Not a day goes by that I don't think about him.
She was my wife and best friend.
Remember, respect, and honor our fallen military heroes and the sacrifice and strength of surviving families who wear the Gold Star pins.
When did the A-10 Thunderbolt II, also known as the Warthog, enter military service? The answer is B, 1976. The Air Force employs some of the most effective combat rescue teams in the U.S. military, but even they need protection. Airman First Class Michael Fox introduces us to a specialized unit at Nellis Air Force Base that does just that.
In desperate moments behind enemy lines, a call for emergency evacuation can send these helos full of combat rescue airmen into harm's way. In order to focus on saving lives and prevent the need to be rescued themselves, they rely on Rescort.
The Rescort mission is basically escorting them in and giving them protection outside of what they can provide themselves to allow for them to safely get in, get the personnel, and get out. What you'll do is you'll find what we call the RV, the rescue vehicle. Again, mostly usually helicopter. Plan a route with them, staying away from towns, known threats, lines of communication, because we're trying to get in and get out without people knowing we did that.
During either a pre-planned or alert rescue, preemptive communication with survivors prior to pickup is crucial to protecting the mission from possible compromise.
We're going to communicate in certain ways to ensure that we know who you say you are, because you know, all I know right now is you're a call sign and a coordinate on the ground, and I got to make sure that when I get there, I don't put the rest of the rescue mission at risk, because potentially our guy was captured and now it's somebody else on the radio talking, and we're setting up some kind of trap for us. Once the rescue vehicle's on the ground, then we generally provide protection. That's when he's the most vulnerable. Provide that protection overhead. You know, we do a lot of close air support missions, especially the last years in Afghanistan and Iraq. Again, the airframe, every airframe brings strengths or weaknesses to it, and we're trying to develop tactics to mitigate those weaknesses and take advantage of the strengths. What we're trying to do now is filter that knowledge out to the rest of the Air Force and try to enable the levels of those skill sets to go up across all the units that come through here.
Isolated airmen can rest assured knowing that their lives are protected by a remarkable team, Rescort. I'm Airman First Class Michael Fox, Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada.
All branches of the U.S. military have bases in Japan, and the opportunity to train together is one of the advantages of being stationed so close to each other. Petty Officer Brian Brooks shows us how Army and Navy are partnering up to practice some real-world life-saving techniques.
Soldiers from U.S. Army Aviation Battalion Japan out of Camp Fuji fly down to Yokosuka Naval Base and work with sailors from both Yokosuka and Naval Air Facility at Tsugi to train on personnel water rescue techniques. This particular exercise is a training validation of the Army's caving ladder, or more commonly called rope ladder, and their ability to adjust to the various factors in case of a real emergency.
I think it went really well. There was a couple things that we had a little bit more wind and a little bit of drift, so we compensated and changed a couple things or delayed a little bit, adjusted the exercise safely in order to accomplish the training. It was a very good event today.
This training puts every unit to the test and forces everyone to think and act as one. From adjusting the Army's helicopter flight approach in the sky, steerage and control from Yokosuka's security boats on the water, to Atsugi's safety swimmers in the water, they all work together to make this event come off without a hitch.
We prepared for weeks on this evolution, and we thought we anticipated everything that we could possibly anticipate, but one thing that was kind of hard today was the current. The sea state was a little rough, and the current pushed us around like crazy. So next time around, we will kind of anticipate that, making sure that our swimmers do not get fatigued, and making sure that we are helping our swimmers to the best of our ability.
In order to get a full understanding of the two services' capabilities, both the Army and Navy deploy their aircraft to recover personnel. The Army requires 5 rescues through the use of the caving ladder, and the Navy requires 2 pickups by using the helicopter's hoist and search and rescue swimmer to assist in the recovery. Overall, the participants feel like this cross-branch training is beneficial.
It was actually a great opportunity. It was the first time I've worked with anyone other than the Navy, honestly, and just to be able to understand their aircraft, their capabilities, and to share our capabilities, our aircraft configuration is definitely an interesting and an awesome experience.
We appreciate getting opportunities to train like this as much as possible.
Both services hope to plan this event again next year and continue to build on this training environment. Petty Officer Brian M. Brooks, Yokosuka Naval Base, Japan.
For more than 20 years, Open Skies has been one of the most wide-ranging international arms control efforts to promote openness and transparency in military forces. 88th Air Base Wing correspondent John Harrington shows us how no matter where a U.S. Open Skies aircraft takes off, its payload always lands at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
When the U.S. overflies another country and they take imagery, this is done on wet film, circa 1960s. That film has to get processed before you can actually get any usable imagery out of it, and this is where we develop that imagery.
Certain films run at different ISOs, which have to run at different speeds, different temperatures. There's a lot of, believe it or not, chemistry or mathematical equations that go into processing the film.
Everybody trusts film. Once you develop the film, you can't change it. We are the only Open Skies media processing facility in the U.S.
The film arrives off of the OC-135 Bravo. It used to be a WC-135 weather aircraft. Before we begin any kind of processing or touching the film, we have to wait for the foreign parties to give us the okay. Prior to actually running film through a machine, we have to certify it. We call it a 21-step, that's atomic strip. And when we read in the gradients, it has to give us a density average that we are looking for, an aim. Once that aim is achieved, we then have to run flash through the machine. Then we will process the film within treaty standards. And then we will inspect the original negative to make sure there's no flaws with the sensors. It's important to have these standards for the film because per treaty, our imagery comes out at 30-centimeter resolution.
The greatest challenge that we face right now is dealing with this old film. This stuff is all Vietnam-era equipment, and it's not made anymore.
Sometimes I deal with the Chinese right here.
Our guys do an excellent job in making sure that these machines stay in top condition. So the machines are almost like new, even if they've been used for the last 30 years. This is one of the only places in the country where you'll see the, Russian Air Force and their personnel show up to do missions that, everyone's okay with.
So when you start seeing all these foreign parties, the magnitude does sink in. You're not just representing the United States Air Force, you're representing the United States.
Hi, I'm Specialist Brent Fulmer. I'm assigned to HHC 101st BSB. I would like to give a shout out back home to New York, to my family. I love and miss you guys.
Hi, I'm Private Zachary Grossman. I'm here in Fort Riley, Kansas at 234 Armor. I'd like to give a shout out to my mom and dad back home in Kidder, Missouri. I'll see you guys soon. Love you.
Coming up, a group of legendary airmen reunite for the last time. And we'll showcase some of the best photos from our service members, as In the Fight, presented by Dividends, continues. Approximately how many Americans served during World War II? The answer when we return.
I want to give a shout out to my family and friends.
I want to send a shout out to my husband,
to my parents, my family back home.
I'd like to give a shout out to my girlfriend.
To my family and friends in Lansing, Michigan.
To my family out in Tucson, Arizona.
To my beautiful wife and children in Des Moines, Iowa.
To everybody in Texas.
In York, Pennsylvania.
Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Chicago, Illinois.
Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Orlando, Florida.
Oceanside, California.
And Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
I love you guys. I miss you. And I hope I'll see you soon.
When you put on the uniform, you are held to a higher standard.
Well, a lot of times, you're not going to know what's going to be thrown at you, so you need to be ready for anything.
Stress can affect every Marine and Marine family.
It's very hard for me to have a career when we're always moving around.
We have the same bills that everybody else does.
And you never want to let your staff NCOs down.
The De-Stress Line provides anonymous counseling for Marines and Marine families when it's needed most. It takes courage to ask for help. Call today and let us help you win your personal battles.
There are symbols that represent loss. There are symbols that represent strength. And there are symbols that represent both. Remember, respect, and honor our fallen military heroes and the sacrifice and strength of surviving families who wear the gold star pins.
Approximately how many Americans served during World War II? The answer is C, 16 million. It's been 5 years since a devastating earthquake struck Haiti. The tragedy brought about a massive outpouring of help and one of the largest relief efforts in recent history. Marine Sergeant James Skelton shows us how the Marines assigned to the 4th Civil Affairs Group continue to provide humanitarian assistance to the people of Haiti.
Continuing Promise is a mission based around the USNS Comfort, traveling around Southcom AOR, specifically South America, Central America, and the Caribbean, just providing medical aid to different communities and helping out in a number of other ways.
I was born and raised in Haiti, and it meant a lot to me for me to come back to my home country and support this mission. The people here are proud, and it does mean a lot to me.
Being of Haitian descent, I'm a first-generation American. My parents were born in Haiti. I was born in New York. But being a first-generation American, it feels good to come back to Haiti and being able to give back. In 2010, I was actually coming back from deployment from Iraq. I was desperately trying to come here. Earthquake just happened. Didn't get the chance then, so now it feels really good. You know, I feel like I've attained a dream that I really wanted to do. I think we've done a good job, and I'd like to do more. Continuing Promise mission is definitely needed in countries such as Haiti and all throughout the Caribbean.
As the Civil Affairs team leader, I'm responsible for overseeing engagement with the local community and being that liaison in between the military and the civilian populace. So that involves visiting several different areas in the community and meeting with local leaders. One of the most memorable events during Continuing Promise was the visit to the school in Léogâne. This is an area that 5 years before had been the worst devastated by the earthquake that had struck Haiti. And it was amazing to see kids coming out from the local community, just full of enthusiasm, really looking to make a difference in their community. And it was something I'm very proud of, is that we were able to help them out.
You know, life is what you make of it. Anything is what you make of it. So you can easily come out here and just kind of do your job and call it quits, or you can come out here and actually, you know, learn the culture, embrace the culture at the same time. Be proud that you do have the power to influence or cultivate change.
For the past 70 years, a group of legendary airmen and their families have reunited to celebrate their historic legacy as part of the 325th Fighter Group, known as the Checkertails. Air Force Tech Sergeant Bert Traynor got a chance to see how a proud heritage is being preserved and brings us this story.
Time may be catching up to these legendary World War II veterans of the 325th Fighter Group, but their spirit still perseveres as their organization reunites for the 70th and last time.
Everything comes to an end, and I'm glad I'm still alive to be here.
Numerous accomplishments in North Africa and Europe during World War II, including 520 aerial victories, have secured their place in Air Force history.
We're an exclusive group, and it never was a large number of people that achieved this status. So I do feel proud that I was able to maintain the supremacy that we held.
For modern-day Checkertails stationed at Tyndall, it's a unique chance to reflect on their heritage.
The interaction with them has been really fun. The gentlemen here, they range anywhere from pilots to maintainers, and it was really exciting to hear a lot of their stories, but they're very funny as well, and like to give out lots of hugs.
Hugs aside, the biggest reward from these veterans is the first-hand perspective on their war experience.
War is a nasty game. There's no good war. There is no such thing as a good war. But I mean, thanks to those of you that still wear the uniform and the like, we're prepared and hopefully we can be successful in defending our future. I look out and I see the F-22s going off this airfield and I just, you know, it makes me want to get out and fly again.
Technical Sergeant Bert Trainer, Tyndall Air Force Base, Florida.
DVIDS is a 24/7 operation that provides a timely, accurate, and reliable connection between the media and the military serving worldwide. Through a network of over 200 portable satellite transmitters around the globe and a distribution hub in Atlanta, Georgia, DVIDS gives you access to the front lines with live and archived broadcast video, still imagery, and print products. Visit our website at dividshub.net and search through our enormous video and photo library. Register on our website to gain complete access to high-definition content, along with breaking news alerts and webcasts from top military officials. For questions or comments about In the Fight or DVIDS, you can email us at ondemand@dividshub.net or follow us on Twitter and Facebook. As we close, we feature some of the best photos that DVIDS has to offer as we listen to Eddie Horst's composition, Pangea. See you next time, In the Fight.